My favorite architecture quote is a quote by Bobby Jones about the old course in St. Andrews, where he said that the more that he studied it, the more he loved it. The more that he loved it, the more he studied it. And that's really the kind of architecture that we love, where we don't want to just feel like there's a level of nuance that felt like we were able to conjure up in a year. It feels more like something where it took decades to get that level of interest out there. And if we achieve that, then we've definitely hit the goals we were trying to of a lot of fun detail out there.
Gotta love the gifts, man. Look at this. How sweet is this? We're raiding that pro shop anyway. But, I mean, this is amazing.
So really the vision behind Cabot Citrus Farms is a destination golf resort and community. Obviously grounded in great golf and world-class golf, which I think folks have come to associate with Cabot. And that's really across 4 courses. The Karoo, which Kyle France designed, one of our 18-hole courses. The Roost, which is a combination, kind of co-design with Kyle Franz, Mike Nuzzo, Rand Morissette, as well as 2 of our short format courses. The Wedge, which is an amazing 11-hole par 3 course, holes ranging between 75 and 120 yards, lit up at night, tons of fun for golfers, families, and non-golfers alike. And the 9-hole short course called the Squeeze, with holes ranging between 75 to 600 yards. And really beyond that, giving folks a place to stay through our cottages, as well as a host of food and beverage outlets and non-golf amenities.
So when we go off on the first hole at Karoo, first of all, it's a spectacular par 4 to kick it off, but more importantly, I think it gives you the first taste of what we're going to experience as we go through the round, which is these massive greens. Undulating,
Huge,
of course,
yeah,
but massive. And it's the one and only shared green. It shares with 1 and 6.
Yeah.
And I'd say the closest thing I can think that any type of reference point would be when we played the old course.
Yes, exactly.
And the huge, massive shared greens that you really don't get any type of scale for until you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an incredible hole to start out with. And one thing you're gonna see, like, don't even bother, don't try to count the number of bunkers. You'll lose count.
I think it's impossible, yeah.
It might be impossible, but between bunkering and waste areas, you can see why this course is predominantly sand,
mm-hmm.
with runways and patches of grass.
Yeah.
But the layout, from the first hole gets you right out the gate understanding just how spectacular this place is.
Really what interested us most about the site here is, we had known Worldwoods for years and years, and it was such a special place for so many people. You think about 120 feet of elevation change, tons of sand, and all of the mature vegetation that we have here really is unique for Florida, and an amazing combination when we think about world-class golf experiences. And so the Karoo was an existing course. It had a past life as Pine Barrens and was in the World Top 100 for a decade. And as we started to spend more and more time on property, given the sandy nature of the site, we just felt this was really the place to start. And so obviously we'll have the Roost coming online in the next few months, with preview play starting in April, but wanted to really start it with a bang with the Karoo, the Squeeze, and the Wedge, all opening for preview play in the same week.
Is this the first time we've previewed a course before it actually opened to the public?
I definitely think this is a first for us.
I mean, what a treat, right?
It is something special.
It really is.
And this place is going to be busy once it opens.
It really is.
You can tell.
Yep.
Yeah. Book now.
Book now.
So one thing you quickly see when you come out here, and it's very counter to a lot of what's more traditional Florida golf that we've played before, is that there isn't a flat lie to be found.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only flat areas out here are the tee boxes. From the rolling fairways, you're gonna end up with a lot of side hill, downhill lies. It's gonna work different areas of your shot making ability. But even as you get close to the greens and the mounding around the greens, it really allows you to kind of get creative, and that's some of my favorite type of golf. Just be creative and be able to aim for different spots of the green, knowing it's going to move, the ball's going to move in different directions. And likewise, like if you miss your spots, you can be penalized. That ball can really run away. And one thing we kept saying to each other as we were playing out there is like, just being on the green is not necessarily an accomplishment. I think in a lot of ways, like getting your greens in regulation here, it's something you can do. These greens are massive, they're huge, you can hit them, but you're looking at a challenge if you're not in tight. You're looking at, you know, you're gonna lean on your caddy, and you're just gonna really be able to like realize like sometimes two putt is an accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Good shot.
Guy likes a wooden rake.
Guy likes a good wooden rake, you know?
Really, it's adventure golf, which is the term that when Ben and I were first speaking to Kyle, thinking about the concept for the Karoo, Kyle pitched us on the idea of adventure golf, which is multiple routes to the pin, an emphasis on fun and shot options, and really bold, interesting greens. And so finding multiple pinnable locations gives us really the ability to have multiple courses within a course. It gives our team the ability to set up the course, you know, wildly differently from day to day. So 3 as an example, which is now this spectacular downhill par 3 over a natural wetland. That hole can play as long as 325 yards from our hidden back tee to the back edge of the green. They are big greens. I think the average green is in the 9,000 square foot range, but to your point, they are incredibly fun. We have tons of pinnable location and really provides for a unique experience for folks who haven't played Kyle's courses before.
Honestly, coming in, I didn't really think that a course that's this new, I know we're previewing it, was gonna be this playable. You know, I didn't think it was gonna be in this great of shape, and it's not even there yet. I mean, 9 months from now, 10 months from now, this time next year, this place is gonna be immaculate. But the place is incredible, and I have a feeling that this place is literally gonna become one of the most popular golfing destinations for a buddy's trip, no doubt.
So if you walk in, you come in, you wanna enjoy Cabot, it's like my first question is like, how much time do you have? What kind of golf do you wanna play? Because we have an extra small, which is the putting course. We have a small, which is the wedge course, which is lit at night. We have a medium, which is the squeeze. We have a large that's about to be finished, which is the roost. And we have an extra large, which is the Karoo, which is what the outing was today and tomorrow. So you come in and no matter what size you are, what type of golf you like, there's something here for you.
If you looked at the old parcel that the squeeze, the wedge, and the range sit on, you know, there was at Worldwoods a circular driving range, a putting green, a short course, and some practice holes. And so when we started sitting down with Mike Nuzzo, it felt a little tight for 18 holes. And so Mike's concept was a 9 and 9, 9-hole par 3 course, a 9-hole course. We found 21 green sites, and so that morphed into the squeeze and the wedge being our 11-hole par 3 course, and the squeeze, which we talk about as a 9-hole course with a bye hole. So really the way it's morphed is tons and tons of fun, really interesting half-bar holes. You can still use your entire bag, but it's an experience that folks can play in an hour to an hour and a half before they play the Karoo or the Roost, or at the end of the day, really with an emphasis on walkability, fun, and really intuitive for different formats. You sort of think about all the free-flowing tee decks we have out there. Great place to go and play match play and settle bets during a great day of golf.
You know, you walk out there, they've got the cool Sunday bags. It reminds me in a lot of ways like the Cradle at Pinehurst. They've got the music playing, a lot like the bats that we got to experience at Black Wolf Run.
Right.
You know, shots ranging from 60 yards to 100 yards. But there's, you know, one green that stood out for me in particular, and I'm looking at it very much like in the Karoo. Depending on where you put that pin, you're talking about a difference in 2-3 clubs because it's just so long and it's narrow and it's protected. So it'll challenge your short game, and the greens very similar. And I know there's like a lot of the different designers that we got to speak to between the two courses, but they shared a lot of similar philosophies, and you can kind of see that when you're out there and how undulating the greens are, the waist areas. So I don't want to call the wedge a mini Karoo, but again, there's a lot of those similar elements that are really good in a way to
You've
like
got that adventure.
either wind up or wind down from playing the big green.
Yeah.
I think preview play is something that obviously that we've done at Cabot Cape Breton in St. Lucia, and really is something that Mike Kaiser, I think in many ways pioneered out at Bandon, which is a way of thanking all of the folks who've been great supporters of ours, getting people out onto the golf course, and really an opportunity for us to collect feedback. And so one of the things that's given us a ton of energy is hearing from guests and folks like yourselves who've been out here, and just hearing what you're enjoying and where we have room for improvement. I think obviously now if you look at the course, the greens and fairways have established, you can see the artistry, the turf is starting to really play firm and fast. Some of the areas that come in over time are more of the native areas. So looking at some of the exposed sandy sites, all of the hand plantings that Kyle and his team have excelled at will come through in the next few months as we ramp up for our grand opening in September. But really the part that's been most energizing is how excited folks are who've been out here, and especially seeing people who played Worldwoods before, recognizing how different the property is. And I think the excitement and level of enthusiasm has been amazing and really encouraging for the team.